Omaha Steaks Semi-Annual Sale is here. Save 50% site-wide on legendary steaks, gourmet burgers, chicken, pork, seafood, and more. Plus, get an extra $35 off with promo code AUDIO at omahasteaks.com. Shop now to save 50% site-wide on steaks and more during Omaha Steaks Semi-Annual Sale. Plus, get an extra $35 off with promo code AUDIO at checkout. That's omahasteaks.com, promo code AUDIO. Minimum purchase may apply. See site for details.
Why do you need to be your own advocate? Stay tuned and find out.
Welcome. Okay, here's the question. You serious? How are we dark horses? You know, the ones everyone is betting against, the ones they don't expect to win, place, or even show on the track, and they'll even laugh on us when we talk about trying. How do we show the world our greatness and triumph? Come on. Well, that's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. Let's go. This is The Dark Horse Entrepreneur. My name is Tracy Brinkman. And push it up.
What is up, my Dark Horse friends and family? Welcome back to your weekly dose of Superpower Learning. I'm your Dark Horse host, Tracy Brinkman, and you, well, that, my friend, is infinitely more important. You are a driven entrepreneur or one in the making. Either way, you're here because you're ready to start, restart, kickstart, and just start leveling up with some great personal marketing or business tips and results in order to build that beautiful business of yours into the empire it absolutely deserves to be. Oh man, you know, I always say big episode for you today, but you know what? I'm not going to say that today because today we have a very special episode for you. Today, Sam Mitchell is going to be sharing why it's a superpower, not a debility. He's going to talk about why we need to be able to see the world in our own way and why that's a great thing. He's going to talk about becoming an expert in a couple of things and so much more. You are going to learn some amazing things from this amazing young man. Plus, I'm going to let you in on next week's interview episode guest, who is the CEO of Terminus Media, and they are a faith and family entertainment company. As per usual, the Dark Horse Corrals are chock full of personal, business, and marketing GOLD spilling from every corner of the Dark Horse Entrepreneur HQ. So let's get to the starting gates and go. Alrighty, my Dark Horse friends and family, like I just said, you know what? Let's step back here for a second. You know, on this show, I have spoken to business stars, music stars, rock and roll stars, even movie stars. But today, I think it's going to be my first time speaking to a superstar. You see, Sam has made it to the top 10 of the People's Choice Podcast Awards. He placed second in the state of Indiana for the JAG Entrepreneurship Project, was selected as the best business at the CEO trade show in Indiana, and has had tremendous guests on his show, and is one of the top 200 podcasts in all of Canada. All that as a recent high school graduate. Oh, and did I forget to mention, Sam is autistic. Sam is on a mission to take the stigma out of autism and show people that he is not broken and therefore embracing autism. Sam is not ashamed and wants to be the voice for those with autism and other disabilities. His podcast is helping him change the world just a little bit at a time. Sam, at the end of the day, wants to be the voice for those who do not have one. Now that, my friends, is a superstar if I've ever heard one. All right, my man Sam, welcome to the Dark Horse Entrepreneur, man. How you all doing today?
I'm all right. I'm fine.
We got Sam's mom, Gina, is hanging out with us today as well.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Absolutely my pleasure. And so, Sam, actually, like I was mentioning earlier, the thing I like to do first is hush my mouth and let you tell your story. However much you want to tell, the good, the bad, the ugly, that brought you to where you are today and why you like doing what you do so much.
Okay, well, there's a long story behind that. So, yes, I am Sam. I do run a podcast. It's called Autism Rocks and Rolls, and it's about autism and how we cope with daily struggles that you may or may not understand. And I started after I joined my high school's media club, and I loved it so much that during high school, I decided to start my own podcast because the Thundercast got a little stale here, and I still did it, but I want to add some I want to add some to plate, and we add Autism Rocks and Rolls. But also, it's been a long journey for me. I've been diagnosed since I was 4.
Yeah, you'll tell about that a little bit. Okay, so like we said, I'm Gina. I'm Sam's mom. Sam was diagnosed diagnosed with autism when he was 4. We kind of suspected. I've been a teacher and educator for about 17 years, so I had some kids in my class of all different abilities. So it was by no means trained in autism, but I'm still not. I mean, I'm still a child on the autism spectrum, but I don't consider myself an expert. We just kind of did what worked for us.
Right.
But anyway, I kind of suspected it just because of some of the behaviors he was having. Hated loud noises. He hated his routine messed up. He played with his toys in like a very sophisticated way, which was really cool. He was sorting things, and it was kind of classic textbook things going on. So we basically put him in a preschool, a special education preschool, just so the teacher kind of watch him and tell us what he thought. And he very quickly said he's probably on the spectrum. We should probably have it evaluated. So we did, and it came back that he was, on the spectrum. And so, he's almost 19 now, college bound, but it's taken a village to get it. He's really responsible for it. He's worked really hard, but it's taken a village to kind of get Sam where he needs to.
Absolutely. And for those that are listening that don't know, I'm lucky enough that I have an amazing wife who's been in the special ed education system most of her scholastic career. And, so I've been exposed and experienced the amazing people that she gets to touch. But for those that don't know, maybe just share a little bit about what autism is in general, and maybe, Sam's experiences in.
Autism is like a neurodevelopmental disorder where they struggle with. It's one of the most interesting disabilities, I think, based on studies of my own self, in my opinion, because it's so different. They struggle with social cues, and there's so many levels. There's the lower functioning, there's the higher functioning aspect of it, and that's just interesting to me. Everywhere in between. I mean, it's just different forms, and it's just so impressive what people on the spectrum can do.
Yeah, to kind of piggyback off that we kind of look at it like that and have. I think there's lots of reasons why Sam's so successful. If there's not just one reason why he is, but we've always looked at it as, okay, this is brain wire, and when you were born, this is how your brain. I have a brain wiring. We have never really looked at it as disability.
Agreed.
We recognize that he has autism. It is what it is, and that's what definition is with brain wiring. But we always look, it's Sam was Sam, and this is all tools. All kids need resources to be successful. So I don't know if that just kind of helped him because we had expectations, and we gave him kind of everything that he needed, to be successful.
And I think brain wiring is probably about the easiest way for anyone that hasn't experienced it to explain it. It's like they just, I think, and maybe Sam can share on this, have a different way of, seeing things, experiencing the world around you. Is that a great way to explain it?
Yeah, you're not wrong there. I do experience the world a little differently. I do see things a little differently from anyone else, and I don't like it. I love it.
I know the folks that I have encountered that have the same situation. They usually are very focused on some aspect of their world, whatever it is. It could be a type of car, it could be podcasting, it could be computers, but that's their world, and they really zone in on that. Do you have something that you tend to zone in on, Sam?
Is
it really
answer.
Podcasting?
One answer, and what else is zone? Anything, hang out with friends, really.
That's teenagers.
And professional wrestling. Professional wrestling, WWE wrestling.
Nice.
You know how most people that are on the spectrum are kind of a genius in something because the brain work. That is that high focus. Sam has met a lot of people through his journey and through his business. But like, for example, he has a really good friend, Armani Williams, who is a NASCAR driver, and he has autism. And I guess when he was growing up, his thing was race cars. So it was natural. And now he's a professional driver. Sam has another friend, Abe, who knows everything about every World Series in baseball. So Sam knows everything about wrestling, and that's no exaggeration. You could ask him
from 1985 and beyond. Beyond past that, though, I don't know much.
Yeah,
because I wasn't born yet. I can't find anything about that.
But he's studied a lot.
That's awesome.
That's his thing. I mean, most people on the spectrum have their thing.
Right. Do you enjoy going to the wrestling events, or just watching them, or what kind of resonates with you when it comes to the wrestling beat?
If we go to wrestling shows, the only condition I have is you better give me some good seats. Otherwise, I'm going to watch it from the screen. That's because I can't see. Sometimes got a big blob and I'm like, ooh. And I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous. I'm like, I'm watching this, honestly, if you can watch this.
Right. Yeah.
The close seats are so expensive. So we had to purchase like right there. But we got
like good seats.
We've taken him several times. And it's like middle of the seats.
Yeah, it's like from the front row. And then I remember that my favorite was the front row, and then there's railing. There were 2 seats back. Yeah. Those were good.
Yeah. I was lucky enough, and probably about 15-20 years ago, I was a production director, and we did a WWE tour with what they knew as the Divas back then. And we planned their whole tour for the Divas, and I got to go to WWE headquarters and meet Triple H and a number of the folks. And here's what I found, and you probably know this already. All those guys and gals are super awesome. awesome, right? They really appreciate their fans 100%.
I would say most. Not all I read online. There's some that don't.
All the ones I met. How about that?
Yeah, I know. I'm telling you. I get an interview. For speaking of that, I met Mick Foley 2 years ago.
Oh, nice.
In a toy pit shop, really, in Indy. And then I decided that I was going to try to get my podcast. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff, which she can tell in a minute. But I get to interview Mick Foley next month.
Nice. That's going to be exciting. You got a whole bunch of questions all lined up for him, I bet already, huh?
Oh, I got those on one at a time.
Yeah.
You don't know how we're going to do it. I only got 30 minutes with him is the sad part.
He gave us
Booking agent.
his booking agent is Jake Snake Roberts' daughter.
Ah, okay.
Sam is in a network it's the Mental Health Radio Network with Kristen Walker. They've been really, really good to Sam. He joined that network. And there's a wrestling podcast in the network, the ANC podcast with Andrew Campbell and Chili Willy. And they contacted me and said, who's Sam's favorite wrestler? I told them. They pulled some strings and then we surprised Sam. And Mick came on Zoom call and everybody cheered and screamed. And
that's going to be super exciting.
No, it's already exciting once. Now you get excited to chat for a minute, for a little bit at least.
Right.
I think I'm going to make this one more conversational though.
Oh, yeah.
Not do like big interview questions.
That's awesome.
So I think those, for me, I really enjoy the conversations because then you get to find out more about their personality and who they are off stage more so than just on stage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So some of my favorite podcasts that Sam has done, because I get to listen to him before he publishes, and my dad listens to him, his grandpa. So he's got some critiquers, like people that.
Well, you're the editor.
Yeah, I edit. My dad, he calls me the critiquer.
Because I want a viewer's perspective.
But yeah. So, but some of my most favorite ones are the ones that are more conversational.
Yeah.
Rather than a script, like a strict script.
I try to make them a little conversational, but I have to have some notes.
Yeah, you do good.
What's your favorite thing about podcasting, Sam?
Editing.
Really?
Yeah, it's fun. Getting Audacity, getting rid of the ums, the ands. When technology works, then it's fun. When it acts like idiots, not the most enjoyable thing alive.
I know, and it seems like I use Audacity to edit myself, and it seems like this recent update with Audacity, it's gotten a little clunkier. It's running a little slower. Have you noticed that?
No, it keeps kicking me to the beginning for some reason.
Really? That's weird.
Yeah, you start trying to edit, then it'll be like, highlight the floor. I'm like, I didn't realize. I'm like, really?
Yeah, he likes to. I think it's stepping because most people don't like to edit, but he loves to make a podcast, but then he loves to edit it. But I think it's just perfecting and being able to step back and say, look at what I just produced, like what I just did. So I think really like feeling.
Yeah.
So what kind of drew you towards the podcast? I know you mentioned the media class in high school. What kind of drew you towards this medium?
Well, it was the fact that it was something new. It was a small group. I'm not like a big group guy. I mean, like if I'm going to do something, if I'm going to learn something, I'd rather be in a small group. So
Gotcha.
That was really kind of cool, definitely. But the fact that I was addicting to it probably was because I think it reminded me of something I did a while back. You'll remember this. Remember Eastern Green Middle School News? You remember that?
Yeah.
I reminded me of that because middle school, they just think called EGMS News, where it was like school.
Yeah, you did like that.
And I love that so much. And I didn't work it, unfortunately, because I was young at the time and didn't have a lot of opportunities for fifth graders out of school, apparently. So that's what it was. It was kind of like the Eastern Green Middle School Club, but just like audience.
What did you like about podcasting versus?
Because video's too complicated.
It almost like clicked. Like when he comes down here in his studio, it's just like it clicked so quick. Whenever he started podcast, it was just amazing what he was able to under. And that's kind of another thing with autism is people that are on the spectrum, the things that they struggle with, they really struggle with. And then the things that they're really good at, they're exceptionally good. And it's just kind of like that roller coaster process.
Right.
Yeah, but that's where it came from. Was after that middle school.
Yeah.
I can't believe you didn't. I want
I
to
remember
remember
that. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Nice. So I know you have this message that you're trying to get out there that you're not broken. I don't even want to say that you're different, but I think we're all different, right? When it comes to your message, what is it you want everyone to walk away hearing from you?
You're now listening to the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast.
I want to show everyone that I'm not broken. I do not need to be fixed, and I'm fine in society. I mean, society may not agree with that, but who cares what society wants at this point in life? I think we've had a tough year. I think everyone's almost at that point. And so really, it's what's the problem with being autistic in America or in society?
Not one, right?
No, but and so many people that you talk to, kind of from a parent's perspective, I mean, throughout the years, I've never really heard anybody say, yes, I have a problem, with people on the spectrum. I've never heard anybody say that, but it's the the stigma, it's the negativity that still is there.
Yeah.
You know, you'll see ads that say we could cure autism, and I'm like, why are we doing
Why
that?
does autism need to be cured?
Yeah, like
Thank you. Yeah,
why are we
absolutely.
doing that? Why are we, if we cure, and cured isn't even the correct term, but if took autism away from people, well, you should take away electricity because, you know, most inventors probably had autism. The people that work in Silicon Valley with cell phones and with technology, I would say 95% of them have autism. So it's almost like, why are we even doing that? Like, why are we even talking about taking it away? I never understood.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Society still.
Yeah, I gotta ask, do you have any comparisons with Duck Dynasty by chance?
I do not. I actually have reached out to one of the main characters, the husband on Duck Dynasty, to try and get him to come on the show. I'm hoping the beard will lure him in.
My friend loves Duck Dynasty. That's why I thought of it.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Don't worry, we had a friend who looked like the Black Panther.
Nice.
Yes, we met him through some networking. The whole time I was looking at him, I just could not think of anything except
he was the Black Panther with a lazy eye, honestly. Good guy though, he's awesome. My mom loves Black Panther too.
Yeah, he was quite an actor. I just found out a cool little tidbit about him just the other day, that when he graduated high school and he was making his way to college, he wanted to go to this elite acting college. I believe it was on the East Coast, Boston or something like that. And through some sort of series of connections, Denzel Washington found out about his skills and paid for this guy's tuition without even meeting him. He just like, here, I'm going to go do this, paid for his tuition. And that's why when he was at the premiere of the Black Panther, he thanked Denzel Washington for his contributions to his career. It was,
there was it was like a lifetime achievement award for Denzel Washington. They had this big show, this big gala. I remember the Black Panther being a huge part.
Yeah.
Remember when I read you that news, and at first I thought it was fake.
Yeah, Black Panther is my favorite Marvel character. So when he passed away, I was like,
yeah. When I read it on Snapchat, I thought, no, this ain't right. This is a bunch of media. Then I looked it up.
I knew he had been sick.
Yeah, but then I looked it up. I'm like, oh, he really did die.
Yeah.
Okay, mom's not gonna be thrilled with this.
That's sad. So Sam, I know you're running a business on top of the podcast. What kind of services are you offering to those that are interested?
Yeah, podcast coaching sessions for sure. So if you need help with podcasting, I can coach you on how to make it better and how to get started. Public speaking, I'm trying my best to get into public speaking. It's being a pain though. How far have you gotten with that? I mean,
it's going.
It's going now.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome.
Starting to.
I mean, I don't mean like be rude. I'm just asking.
He really, the podcast coaching definitely is a service that people have been purchasing,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really cool. You know, he and I together have written some curriculum on that, so that's definitely something that Sam really likes to do, is to teach other people what worked for him. And then the motivational speaking. You know, Sam has a story to tell.
Yeah,
he really wants
it needs to be heard.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that. Do you? I'm going to ask a random question here. Do you think it's fear of the unknown that makes people shy away, or maybe have their preconceived opinions about those with a different ability?
I do. I think that people get comfortable in who they want to talk to, who they want to hang out with, which that's everybody's right. I mean, you are drawn to people that have the same interests as you, the same personality as you. But I just think sometimes if like somebody who's on the spectrum says something that they think, oh, that's different.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're uncomfortable. Maybe it's just so many people on the spectrum don't get time. They don't get the chances, and it's just so.
It's aggravating.
It's aggravating for Sam. It's aggravating for me to have to.
You have to make your opportunities. Here's the deal, and this is gonna sound awful, but it's true. If you're a teenager who's autistic in this type of world as of today, you gotta make your own opportunities. People aren't gonna give them to you.
A lot of times they do.
Yeah, and it's sad, but that's the truth. I mean, you gotta make them yourself.
You gotta be you have to be your best at Sam, he's had so many people behind him. He's we're all very close as far as family goes, but Sam has really spoken up himself, a lot, and advocated for himself.
Yeah, it's got me in trouble sometimes, but but it comes from a strong-hearted family with a big head.
We're all. Yeah,
I think it's a lesson all of us can learn, right? To speak up for ourselves. 100%. I think there's a number of folks out there that are being walked on by, maybe even loved ones, right? Work or whatever it is. Speaking up for yourself is pretty huge. And, and I don't want to use the phrase inclusive because it seems like it's overused anymore these days, but certainly be willing to look at others and say, you know what? He's kind of awesome.
Exactly. And I think that the word inclusiveness, and I don't think you use that enough. I actually, about a month ago,
go ahead, show
I got a tattoo on my leg, and it's a flower, and the stem says include, because that's such a huge.
Okay, at least show me your arm.
The flower is autism colors.
Mm-hmm.
And that's whenever Sam and I were I wanted something permanent with his podcast, and we finally finally said, the whole point of your podcast is inclusion, is like people to quit setting these people aside and thinking about they're broken and not including in the workforce and in schools and in clubs. So I was like, there it is. That's what the stem of my flower is going to say. Include. So I think that's a beautiful word.
I think the best thing anyone can do is have more than one opinion, and what I mean by that is by have more than one opinion brought to you, because the more and more varied inputs that you get from different types of folks, different, creeds, colors, religions, whatever, the more I think you're able to build off that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of your podcast says, let's just all be respectful. What is it that you always say at the end of a podcast? And what do you say? What's your piece of
Oh, that?
Yeah.
Be nice and don't be stupid.
He would always say, be nice and don't be stupid. And we would hang up and I would be like, God damn, that sounds so harsh. But then when I thought about it, that would solve the world's problems if people were nice and quit being stupid. He's right.
He's absolutely right. Don't be stupid, because some of the things that people are doing is just plain stupid. I'm with you, Sam. 100%.
And unkind, just not nice.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to it's okay to act stupid kiddingly, but gosh, dang, don't be too serious.
But not at the expense of someone. Not to. And that's, as a teacher, that's what I try to tell the kids is I give them a hard time, and
Yeah, she does the shoot dance and break her back.
I act silly around the kids, and I am sarcastic and I make fun of them, but I'm never malicious. Right. I'm never like, I just give them a hard time, and that's the huge difference.
Oh, it's funny though. It is funny.
When I make fun.
Is there trouble in paradise?
Yeah.
She's made fun of the kids when they're dating before.
I teach it great though.
All right, Sam. So here's what I want to ask you. A lot of the folks that'll be listening will be entrepreneurs already, or folks about ready to start their entrepreneurial journey. What piece of advice would you give them?
Go for it. Honestly, there's nothing else you can do with entrepreneurship. You just got to go for it. That's the way I've learned it with my lives. Now, with other lives, with other entrepreneurship, no matter what you sell, if you got a vision, go for it. If you want to sell tea for a living, heck, sell your tea.
So just do it. And then I've heard him say that so many times. Sam started with $70.
Just don't sell anything illegal. That's all I recommend.
He started with $70 and a PayPal account. That's what he had. That's
you want to do crop business? Do a crop business.
Yeah, you got to go for it. The worst thing that can happen is it won't pay.
That's right. And you can always start the next vision. Who cares? They heard it from Sam himself. Just go for it. Sam and Gina, I definitely appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us. I probably want to loop back with you maybe in 4 or 6 months or so and see what's going on. Does that sound like a plan?
Sure.
Absolutely. Now, anyone's looking for any podcast coaching, be sure you check out Sam. If you're looking for a public speaker, be sure to reach out to Sam. And Sam, if they want to check you out for podcast coaching or public speaking or any of the other things you have going on, where do we want to send them?
Well, the first thing you can find my website. So on www.autismrocksandrolls.com. That is everything. That's where you'll find the public speaking and the sponsorship and merchandise as well. But to hear me out on just like an episode in general, you can find me on Podbean, Spotify, YouTube, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Listen Notes, basically any major media platform except Anchor. You can't figure out Anchor yet.
Well, we do Podbean instead. Yes.
Gotcha. Right on. All right. I definitely appreciate you both, Sam, Gina, so much.
Thank you so much.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
All right. There you go, my Dark Horse friends and family. Sam Mitchell and his wonderful mother, Gina, dropping some amazing high-powered brain wiring bombs on us. What resonated with you? What did you take away from today's chit-chat? Here's a couple of thoughts I walked away with. One, it's not a debility, it's a superpower. See, Sam took what was given to him, and he used it as his superpower. Look, we've all heard the whole quote, your mess is your message mantra, right? And yeah, it can be. But be like Sam. Do not focus so much on your mess. That way it might end up becoming your debility. Sam is a rock star through and through. He saw a gap in high school, and he went in there, and he filled it. He was not concerned with whatever you or I might call as an obstacle that he had to overcome. He just went after it, and he did it. Plain and simple. Seriously, how many of us have silly little things in our lives that we've let become an obstacle? No, scratch that. An excuse for why we can't do this or can't achieve that. You know what I say? I say when I want to grow up, I want to be like Sam. I want to get it done my way. Thought number 2. See the world your way. Sam sees the world differently than you and I. So what? I mean, if you think about it, Each and every one of us sees the world differently. I mean, due to your upbringing, the area you lived in, your past experiences, etc., etc., etc. Here's a great example. Let's imagine that you and I were both walking along, say, a city block, and we come to this wooden fence. Maybe there's construction going on the other side, who knows? Both of us being the curious types that we are, we decide to peek through the only 2 knotholes that are in that fence. Now, these 2 knotholes are like 20 feet away. Yours is 20 feet away from mine, okay? Mine is maybe 12 inches off the ground, and yours is, 36 inches off the ground. When you peek through your knothole, you see a black and white tail swishing back and forth, and then there's this awful smell of poo, okay? Meanwhile, 20 feet away, I'm looking through my knothole, and I see a big, wet, pink nose, and suddenly it's lapped over by this huge tongue. Yeah, sometimes they'd burrow in there. Anyway, it's so cute, maybe it even makes me giggle, right? Here's the thing. You and I were both looking at a cow, but given how I described it and what you saw versus what I saw, do you think your experience of that exact same cow at the exact same moment was different than mine? Well, of course it was, right? Right? You and I are getting a completely different perspective. And here's the thing. We were only 20 feet apart. Now imagine that being the case for the experiences of our lives. 20 miles apart, 20 cities apart, 2 decades or 20 years apart, right? A lifetime apart. See the world your way. And here's the thing. Seeing the world your way doesn't make it right or wrong. It just makes it your perspective. Be like Sam. Do what you want. Do what you see, and don't just like it. Love it. And thought number 3, become an expert. Sam, like so many of us, focuses in. I mean, he has a focus, and he has turned that focus into his expertise. Sam, as you recall, placed his focus in really 2 areas of expertise. His podcast, Autism Rocks and Rolls, and the WWE. And I can't remember exactly what year going forward from the WWE he clarified. But clearly, he's amazing at both. And you could hear the passion whenever he talked about it coming out of him, right? He has even been able to combine those 2 in his upcoming interview with a WWE superstar on his show. Now, take a huge lesson from Sam here. Zero in on your expertise. Stop being a jack of all trades and become an expert in one, or like Sam, 2 things. You want to be that expert that when someone asks a friend of yours about one of those 2 things, they go, oh, wait a minute. I know exactly who can help you with that. And then they give them your name. Once you have your foot in the door with them, you can dazzle them with all your other skills that are not quite expert level, right? They're not quite your core expertise, but you're still really good at them. So you could use all those other skills to enhance their experience of your core expertise with you, right? And really, that's how you build a business, isn't it? All right, now, what ideas did you come away with? What inspiring thoughts or tips resonated with you from Sam and his awesome mom, Gina? Whatever they were, write them down. Take some time, as soon as you can, and write them down. And then, get out there and put them into action. Get out there, run your race, get your results. And I want to hear about them. Let me know about them. I'll even share them with Sam so he can know how much you inspired him. Seriously, email me, tracy@darkhorseschooling.com. Share with me the tips or ideas that you came away with, how you put them into action, and what results that you gained from them. Heck, maybe we'll even bring you on the show and let you share how Sam inspired you. All right, now next week, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to be talking to Mark Stansel. Mark Stansel is the CEO of Terminus Media, which is a faith and family-friendly entertainment company focused on producing graphic novels, animations, and film. Mark is also the author of Shift, Platypus vs. Monkey, and a soon-to-be-released title called Ascension from Terminus Media. You're going to want to check these out. These are pretty cool spins on age-old tales we've all heard. Now, I know you want to keep getting all these valuable tips and inspirational stories from the amazing superstar guests like Sam I'm lucky enough to bring onto this podcast. So please go on down there, hit that subscribe button. And while you're there, drop us a 5-star rating. Tell us how much Sam rocked your world and write us a quick review. That's how you tell them, right? And of course, do not keep all this entrepreneurial GOLD all to yourself. Share this podcast with other entrepreneurs and business owners you feel will get value from it. And with that, I'm going to leave you as I always do. Think successfully and take action.
Thank you for listening to the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast.
And you know this!
Thanks for tuning in.
Check us out at www.darkhorseschooling.com.
All right.
My name is Tracy Brinkman.